we have a REM pod that we sit up on the stage when we tell the story. And he said, you know, when we're telling the story of the murder, it always goes off. And he was like, I don't have any proof. He was like, but for doing this, you know, he was like, my theory is they got it wrong. Like, history says one thing, but he was like, you know, the way that this reacts, I think it's wrong.
In my episode about the lost ghosts of Albert Square, I briefly talked about a 1909 triple murder at a building called the Gribble House. Old Town Trolley Tours owns the warehouse that was built on the site of the Gribble House, and for a while, it was used for paranormal investigations. You'd think the spirits of the women killed in that spot would be the ones that would attempt to contact visitors most often, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Let's talk about the ghosts of Old Town Trolley. In 1909, 3 women were brutally attacked in a home off of Savannah's Albert Square. Eliza Gribble and Carrie Olander were dead, but another woman, Maggie Hunter, was still alive. Barely. This was before crime scene investigation was really a thing, so many of the leads police pursued were eyewitnesses saying that they had seen this man or that man near the home during the time of the attack. If you go back and watch my previous video, I even explain how police tried to use a ghost to solve it. Before she died from her injuries, Maggie Hunter briefly regained consciousness long enough to implicate her estranged husband, J.C. Hunter. J.C. Hunter would be tried and convicted of the murders. He was sentenced to death but was pardoned thanks to the work of a Reverend John S. Wilder. To this day, many wonder if the police had the right man, or if Hunter's conviction was just a mad dash to give the community a sense of safety. Later on, the Gribble House and many of the buildings around it would be torn down to make way for newer businesses. One of those newer businesses is a warehouse now owned by Old Town Trolley. Even though the buildings are newer, it doesn't mean that some of the old ghosts haven't stuck around. Recently, I spoke with Gary Patrick, the general manager of the tour company. He said as soon as they moved into the space, he and other employees started noticing that something was off.
The mechanics used to always have strange things happen, from electrical problems to occasionally seeing a woman walking through here and never be able to track her down. You'd be walking past the trolley at night, everything was off, and all of a sudden all lights would come on the trolley. And we had 2 spontaneous fires in the building that were never explained. You know, the fire brigade couldn't explain how the fire started.
Gary told me that an author came in one day to tell him about the property's bloody past. In late 2011, the trolley company moved the offices out of the building, but Gary had an idea of what to do with the space. He put together a team to research the history of the building and to do a little paranormal investigation to see what exactly haunted it.
In this section behind SCAD Bookshop, there used to be a Salvation Army men's home. So you got to think that this was the end of the railway line. This was not a nice part of town. You had saloons, you had boarding houses, Salvation Army, probably prostitution, probably a lot of drugs and opium around this area. So living here was not like living on Jump Street. We brought in a group from Richmond Hill. When that group actually came in, they had a hell of a time. I thought, I'm not going to investigate with them. I'm going to just give them the lay of the land, and I'm going to go to dinner with my wife and then come back. And when I come back, I'll see what happens.
While Gary was explaining the building, he said he felt a strange sensation on the side of his face, like pinpricks.
One of the meetings just said, I've got to stop you right now, because there's a woman, like, right next to you, and she's yelling in your ear. She's telling you to stop.
That clearly wasn't the only ghost they came into contact with that night.
And when I left them and I came back from dinner, I thought they'd all be in here still going. They were all sitting out the front of the property, and they'd had enough.
After doing a little more work to make sure that whatever spirits were present in the warehouse weren't going to hurt anyone, the building opened up for customers looking to have an up-close and personal experience with the paranormal. Gary believes they've made contact with the 3 murdered women and also a man named Paul who had a store on the property for a while. He believes some of the spirits drawn there have stuck around due to the location of a communal kitchen that was present in the area when it was all homes and boarding houses.
I'm a really big believer in the communal kitchen. I think that the energy that would have been just around that kitchen when you have 5 or 6 families in there every night of the year cooking, it's just kind of like a draw point for spirits to come back. It's a familiarity.
After a while, Gary said he became concerned about energies from the warehouse following him home.
I've left this property at night after seeing things and gone home and had major electrical problems at home, like car batteries dead, lights blowing, computers out, like something's followed me home. My name used to get called a lot through the equipment in here. There was times where I wouldn't investigate personally for months on end because things did happen, and I have 7-year-old twins, so I was really reluctant to get friendly with something and take it home with me.
Gary believes that there is a doorway or a portal in the warehouse that allows spirits to come and go. This has led to some interesting encounters. He has heard strange music playing as if through a gramophone.
And I spoke to some folks later on about it. I went up to PA and we were at like paranormal fest type thing, and I was showing them some pictures and just getting some ideas on things. And one of the ladies said, I think there might have been a doorway there. And just that split second, or those few seconds, something came through.
Gary said that strange sounds have happened several other times in the same spot where they heard the music that night.
I think when you go searching, that really brings other spirits in because they know somebody's looking and then somebody's trying to talk to them.
That's my friend Ray. He and his wife were frequent visitors to the Old Town Trolley paranormal investigations. I spoke to him about the experiences they had in my previous episode on Albert Square. During one night, he started getting answers to questions from a REM pod and a spirit box that Old Town Trolley had.
I said, well, what is your name? And it said Steve. And then I was like, okay, so is your name Steve? And then the REM pod goes off. And I literally probably sat there for 10 minutes asking yes or no questions of did they die here? Were they part of the murder? And it said no, that they didn't. And I was asking, well, did you die during that time? And it said no.
He told me that he believes all the activity at the warehouse invited other spirits that wanted to communicate.
I honestly don't know if the spirits that are there were from the murder from that time.
Tammy from the podcast Hollywood Paranormal has had plenty of experiences with spirits that like to move around. During her time teaching at a film school, she knew of students and even a security guard who had seen spirits there. She believes that many were stirred up by a constant rotation of people coming in and out of the space.
You don't know where they're coming from, what position they are in emotionally, and what they're kind of, I guess, physically or mentally conjuring up in their minds. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to have this attraction of these things coming in. There's more activity when there's this constant flow of energy of people coming in and out of places.
Given how many experiences Gary, his co-workers, and even tourists have had, I think it's safe to say that the Old Town Trolley Warehouse is haunted. In fact, when I was inside taking video, I felt someone walking behind me as I was moving around. Now at this time, Gary and I were the only people inside the warehouse, and he wasn't anywhere near me.
I know if I walk in here tonight with equipment, it'll come to life.
There's a plan to turn the warehouse into a restaurant at some point. I asked Gary if he was going to cleanse the space before it opened.
We've had some folks come in here that wanted to cleanse it and move some spirits on, but I'm like, you know what, I guess it boils down to, if you show me you've got a PhD, that you know what you're doing and you're doing the right thing, then I'm all for it. But how do you know that that's what they want? I mean, I got to feel that a lot of the spirits that are in this building want to be in this building.